What is going on? Welcome back to the Underdog Investor audio experience. My name is Colin, and today I want to talk about a few different things. But before I dive into them, I want to set a foundation here. I want to talk about my past and my history here. So, before I got into crypto and DeFi and started building out the UIG with Lucas, I was a baseball coach. I was a strength and conditioning coach for a college, a small college in Massachusetts, and man, I miss it. I miss it so much. It was such a blast. But one of my biggest pet peeves that I had when I was coaching was when I was working with a player, I would ask him, "Hey, what are you working on right now? What are you working on right now?" My biggest pet peeve was, "Oh, nothing," or I don't know." And the reason why that answer really got under my skin was that every time we were doing a drill or even just shagging fly balls in the outfield, that is an opportunity for us to develop and work on a skill set, right? If we're shagging fly balls during batting practice and I'm working with an outfielder, and he's just kind of going through the motions and just going to pick up the balls and tossing them to the bucket so they can bring the bucket of baseballs back to the pitching, back to the coach who's throwing batting practice. And it's just we're kind of wasting time. It's one of my biggest pet peeves because that's a great opportunity to actually work on a specific skill set. Right. So when I would, very quickly, the players that I worked with started to change their approach, right? And when I would say, "Hey, Johnny, what are you working on right now?" If they didn't have a very specific answer for what they were doing in that moment, they'd hear from me, right? And so as time got on, they started to get more focused on the specific skill set or the specific action that they were trying to work on. Perhaps reading the ball off the bat and getting a really good first jump, or working, maybe they're playing deeper in the outfield and they want to work on, coming in hard and catching the ball on the run. And when they would tell me, "Hey, this is what I'm working on," it allowed me as the coach to observe them and to help them actually achieve that, because now I can visually see, hey, I know what they're working on, and now I can really, focus on that specific part of their game, and I can help them get better results. Now, that episode's not about baseball. It's about what I do inside the accelerator program inside the UIG. Is that when I ask an investor, "Hey, what are you working on right now?" and they don't have an answer, I get the same feeling that I got when I was a coach. It's like, this is a great opportunity for us to develop a skill set, because as an investor and as a business owner, there is countless things that we could be working on, skill sets that we can be developing, and information or concepts or lessons that we could be learning, right? There's so many things out there. And so when I'm talking to somebody in the UIG and they're like, "Hey, I need some help right now," it's like, "Okay, great. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, what are you working on? What are you doing? What are you working on? What are you learning? What are you implementing? What are you testing? What are you assessing?" Right? Give me this information so that I, as a coach, can help you. Right? But if you don't know what you're working on, then how can I help you get better results in that specific situation, in that specific field? Right? And so, as a coach, it's sort of my responsibility, obviously, is to help craft that vision. Hey, what, or craft that vision or the action plan, right? And it doesn't bother me at all when somebody comes up to me and says, "Hey, I don't really know what I should be working on right now. Can you help me figure that out? Can you help me get clarity on that so that I can move forward with an action plan?" That I don't mind at all when it's a proactive approach. When the player or the investor comes to me and says, "Hey, I'm a little stuck. I don't know what to do at this moment. Can you help me craft a plan?" Absolutely. But if I come to you and I say, "Hey, what are you working on right now?" and you don't have an answer, for me, that's just a wasted opportunity, and it really gets under my skin. So if you're listening to this and you're inside the UIG or you're a part of my accelerator program, have a plan. Have a plan prior to the call. Have a plan before we meet. And if you're unsure of what that plan should be, communicate with them beforehand. Say, "Hey, Colin, I really want to scale my portfolio, but I don't know how and I don't know where to start. Can you help me craft that plan?" Absolutely. Right. That's what I'm here to do. But if, another thing that I used to say, and I don't remember where I learned this, but basically it's like the quality of your question, it directly correlates to the quality of the answer you're going to get. So if you have a very vague question, you're going to get a very vague answer. And so we want to be specific. We want to be very targeted with the questions we ask and the action plans that we create, because that's going to lead to better answers and to better results. So with that being said, hop back in the UIG, ask your questions, but be specific and know exactly what you're working on at that moment, whether it be going through a specific training, learning a concept, assessing your positions, tracking your positions, or scaling your portfolio, whatever it may be very specific with what you're trying to achieve. And us as coaches, we can help you get there. So with that being said, hop back in the UIG and we will see you in the next episode. Peace.